Okay, good morning. One more time. Good morning, Encounter TV. Good morning, Family Life Nation. Good morning, the Christian family. Good morning, one more time. Welcome to Encounter TV Family Live. Are we live? Okay, good morning. Thank you one more time. This is Encounter TV Family Live, the concept of a godly marriage with Pastor Maryann Godfrey. It's always a good time to have you here, Mommy. And today she's coming us to bless us with another point of view of what we've actually been talking about for days, what we've been trying to talk about for weeks now. I think this program is actually a month old now.
We're growing.
We're
We're
growing,
growing.
yes.
We're growing.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And today I have with me, but before I go further, I'd like to actually say, if you're in your house watching us right now, if you're on Facebook, if you're in the office, and you're watching us right now, I want you to give yourself a round of applause first. Clap for yourself. Because you've actually been a faithful member of this show for quite a while. And as we celebrate, I believe you celebrate with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Encounter TV one more time. This is Prophet Godfrey Ministries on Facebook and on YouTube. And like as always, those of us who reach out to us on email, we love you. Those of us who reach out to us via calls and text messages, we love you. We see your questions, and today we prepared for you and are actually going to tackle your questions. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I have with me a faithful father in the house, a man who is actually very deep in this kind of a discussion. So he's going to be telling us a lot about what we're trying to discuss today. I know the topic today actually is going to shock a lot of people, and it's going to make a lot of. We are going to shake tables. Yes, that's the plan. So first of all, I want to welcome my own daddy, Pastor Wankoye. Elder Mike Wankoye. Sorry for that. Thank you so much, sir. So basically, we are going to be discussing a lot today, and I'm going to see how I'm going to actually be very fast to see how we can reach out to all your questions. Like I told Pastor Maryann, that today is going to be a day to reach out to more of people's questions than what we're going to discuss in the studio, because I noticed that we actually people are actually finding results from what we are teaching. So
And that's the main essence of the program.
so the more we respond to their questions, the more we can actually get feedback of what we are doing. And those of us who are actually giving us feedback on things we should change, things we should increase on our program, thank you so much for helping us grow. We love you. We love you. Today is spicing up your marriage. Yes, the marriage is 5 years, the marriage is 2 years, the marriage is 20 years. It can still be very beautiful. Yes, it's
Very interesting.
very, very interesting. You can still play like kids. You can still do a lot of things. And that is why we are here talking about it today. Today we are going to say how, we are going to say why, we are going to say when, we are going to say where. There's a lot of questions we are going to answer today. And we are going to be very deep and very raw to see how
Very
we can
direct.
discuss. So if your child is with you, please tell her to go inside the room. Or him to go inside the room, because we are going to be discussing a lot of serious stuff today. So first of all, I'm going to allow mommy to talk about it. So, spicing up your marriage.
Viewers out there, glad to have you join us in our program this morning. We'll begin with the definition of the word spice. The word spice is any substance introduced or used in cooking to bring out the taste of your food. Spice is a very interesting substance. It's needed to increase or improve the quality of your food. I'll use that word food. I want to bring that word spicing into a marriage life. Anything you introduce in your marriage life to make it more lively, to make it more interesting, to make it more interesting and lively. Marriage is a lifetime event. Wedding is a day. It's something that happens
Yeah, a day.
in a
Just one
day,
celebration.
or just a weekend. Just a weekend. One Saturday and the wedding is all over. But unfortunately, of course, a one-day program. But unfortunately, so many people spend time. They spend time in preparing for the wedding program and fail to prepare for the lifetime event, which is marriage proper. And if you do not prepare for your marriage, it will definitely not work out. It becomes boring, it becomes uninteresting, and 2 years down the line, you begin to see people with cracked homes, people with complaints and conflict, and you're wondering what happened to that initial fire, what happened to that initial spark, what happens to that initial smiles you witnessed during the wedding. So the spicing is what keeps that marriage going, what keeps it interesting. And so today we'll be talking about a whole lot of things or spicing that you can introduce into your marriage. And that's the essence of today's program. What to do to keep the marriage going.
Okay, so she has told you the base of our program today. And the first question I'm going to give to our elder at the mic is, so what are those things that you think? Let's start from the problems first before I start talking about why our marriage is boring. Why is it that 2-3 years down the line we get tired? Why is it that 5 years down the line? Because I think one of the reasons we have divorces, a lot of divorce cases today, you see the man saying, I don't know.
I'm tired, I'm fed up. I'm
But
fed up.
There was a time where the only thing you can think about.
She was the only picture you could see. She was the only thing occupying your mind.
Why is that? A few years down the line, this person
Marriages
is no
get
longer
boring.
relevant.
Wow.
I don't want to do anything with this person again.
Thank you very much. Our mama has given us the proper definition what spicing up marriage is all about. Making it more interesting, making it more exciting, doing something new to bring up the spark again. And along the line, she also said something that people spend more time preparing for wedding, but they don't spend enough time to plan for the marriage. And when you don't plan for your marriage, it is bound to fail.
Plan to fail.
Any program that is not properly planned will definitely fail. Marriage is not just all about wedding, but it is a life event. You must make up your mind. Make up your mind from beginning that I am going to succeed in this marriage. Make up your mind. You say 2 different bodies, 2 different worlds coming together. And this one has its own background, the other has its own background. You must make up your mind to agree
that this
to
must
be
work
together. That means giving up so much and accepting so much from the other party. Again, you also must not forget that there are different stages of marriage. You have the honeymoon stage. You have the reality stage of marriage. Then you have the adjustment stage. Then you have the fulfillment stage. So many marriages crash in the honeymoon stage.
On the honeymoon stage. Wow.
And what is honeymoon? Some say honeymoon is for 1 week. Some say it's for 3 months. Some say it's for 6 months. But honeymoon depends on how much you really want your honeymoon to last.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong in your honeymoon lasting as long as 3 years, 5 years. And of course, because in your honeymoon stage, of course, there's so much passion. The fire is high. There's so much forgiveness. You actually don't see the wrong of your partner.
You overlook it.
You overlook so many things because the fire is hot, the love is strong. And when you leave that honeymoon stage, then you come to the reality stage.
And you accept.
The reality stage
you
is
accept
now
each other.
you begin to see the real behavior of the man or the woman you have married. What was overlooked during the honeymoon stage may not be anymore. Then maybe the children are coming. Reality stage that yes, now more heads, more persons have been added. Reality stage means yes, you have in-laws. Reality stage means work coming in. These are things that could bring pressure or excitement. It depends on how you are able to handle it. Reality stage means things outside the marriage that you cannot do without. If you are not able to handle the reality stage, of course, the marriage can crash at that point. But if you are able to handle the reality stage, where my real behavior, this is real me. I'm not hiding it.
I'm no longer packaging.
So the things I was hiding or I hid from you during the courtship, during the honeymoon, you have now come to see that.
They are made public.
And that is when some people ask, is this the man I really married? He wasn't like that.
Wow.
So surprises open up during the reality stage. And now, if you're able to handle that very well,
it progresses.
then it takes you to the next stage, which is your adjustment stage. Adjustment means adjusting to those things
realities
that you have discovered that, yes, you can't do without them.
Things that can't change.
Things that you can't change. Things you really cannot change. But you have to be creative. Like Mama said, your spice, it is your spice that you have to bring in all the formulas, all the principles, all the ideas. You have to bring them, walk with them, walk with them with those realities. And that is when you begin to adjust. Children are coming, I'm adjusting. My work is taking so much of my time, I am adjusting. In-laws' responsibilities are there. Friends, church activities, I have to adjust to them. And this adjustment stage can take you so long. It can take you the next 30 years, you are still adjusting. Because children are from school, primary, secondary, you are adjusting.
Stages.
Financial development changes each stage. You have to adjust. So adjustment stage can take you so long. And where you are not able to adjust, again, the marriage crash. But when you're able to adjust to all those challenges that are inevitable, then it takes you to the final stage, which is the fulfillment stage. And when you get there, that is when the grace of God carries you there. Your idea, your patience, your passion, rejuvenating one another, your commitment, that is when you begin to reap the reward. That's when you call it the settlement stage or the fulfillment stage. You see your children, you see your grandchildren, even getting married. You see so many things, your vision, your idea, your dreams being accomplished. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Man, this is the whole marriage actually analyzed in a few minutes. And that we were blessed by that. Elder Mike, actually, I'm very happy that you're here today because I needed to, generation that are coming up, we feel we know a lot, but naturally we know nothing because experience has a way of building a lot into a person.
There's a difference between head knowledge and experiential knowledge.
Yeah.
And Daddy has been there, I'm sure 26, if I'm counting right, 26 solid years.
Yeah?
And we are still counting.
Wow.
So this is his knowledge is not from reading of books. This is what experience and life itself has taught him. And so we have a whole lot to learn.
Okay, I'm actually open to learning. And by God's mercy, let's see how God is going to show us his mercies and see how we can actually learn a lot today. So you said something about the honeymoon stage can last as most as 3 years. I think we might be digressing a little bit. I think it will help to analyze actually spicing up your marriage. You said something about the honeymoon stage, but you still said something about the reality stage involving things outside the marriage that influences the marriage, that actually needs to be a part of the marriage too, that you cannot do without. That's the word you used.
That's right.
So, if the honeymoon stage is lasting for 3 years in this kind of economy that we are now, how do we survive now?
From what Daddy said, he said it depends on marriage. It depends on individuals.
Okay.
The marriages, for some, the honeymoon stage can last as long as a month. That's what Daddy is saying.
Okay,
but others can
give
spread.
Give me a definition of honeymoon.
Honeymoon.
Basically.
Honeymoon is the spark. That's the fire.
The excitement
That's the
stage.
passion. That's the excitement.
The
So can I
excitement
miss
stage.
can I miss that stage with work?
That stage. Very well.
Okay.
Yeah. Honeymoon, you say your work has nothing
to do with the
to do
honeymoon.
with the honeymoon. It is the heart. It is your feeling for
Okay.
one
Wow.
another.
Wow. So
It
so
is
you
how
How deep
deep
the love
deep
is.
the love
Wow.
is.
How deep the
defines
love
the
is.
honeymoon.
so you are saying honeymoon is not about a particular time when I go to a place with my wife.
No, not
and
at
I
all.
enjoy.
Not at
It's
all.
actually a
You-
state of mind.
state of
where-
mind.
It's a state of mind. You can go to your wife to the choicest hotel and the marriage will crash right in there. If your mind,
It's not
if
together.
your commitment,
It's not
if your
together.
mind is not together, if you don't love her right in that hotel within the first 3 days, the marriage can crash. We've seen it.
So it's not about
It's
location.
not about location.
It's about the state
It's
of the
about
heart
the
towards
state of
each
the
other.
heart, your state of mind. How you value
Each other.
That is
The
what
degree of the
honeymoon-
love.
Yes.
The degree of the love, not the
We've
location.
not gone
so you
far.
can be in Dubai and the marriage is crashing
Okay.
right there.
Before you come back. Yes.
Okay. This is 10:24, and we are changing. Our time is a little bit spent, so we're going to see how we can hasten up. So, basically, now, first question pertaining to the spicing of the marriage. Why I think this is going to Pastor Maryann. Why is it that after marriage, the women basically do not behave the same way they behave right before they get married?
Well, my answer to that question, I want to use one word: neglect.
Neglect. Okay.
I want to use one word: neglect. And so many women, especially Christian women,
Yeah.
they have this attitude of neglect after marriage. When you neglect all the things that kept the fire on during courtship or during dating, and you neglect those things you were doing that the man was all over you, you neglect those things, the marriage becomes boring. So my advice to women, Christian women watching the program right now, it's whatever it is you were doing during dating, it should not end in marriage. Dating should continue. Whatever it is, the activities you were doing, going out together, having dates, time for dating, you were dressing properly, the man would not catch your hair off. There was never a time he caught you unkept. You were conscious of your character, conscious of your language, conscious of your behavior, conscious of your dressing. You were conscious during dating. You were very conscious. You were intentional during dating. You were intentional during dating to keep that man and to keep this fire burning during dating. After marriage, you should no longer be careless as a woman. You should no longer be careless because men, they are moved with what they see. They are moved with what they see. The man, for instance, will not have a beautiful secretary at his place of work. Very, very beautiful and well-dressed. A secretary who keeps herself and knows how to carry herself. And the man sees that secretary from let's say 8 o'clock when he resumes office till like 4 or 6 in the evening. And coming back home to see a wife who was once beautiful, but now still has shower cap from morning till 6 p.m. The shower cap is still on the head, the wrapper is still on the chest, and the woman is looking like a grandmother. Looking like a grandmother. If that man continues to see that sight for like 1 month, it paints another picture in that man's brain. And you are gradually losing that man. That's the truth. You are gradually losing your husband. And the interest he had on you when you started will begin to dwindle, will begin to disappear and gradually fade off. So as a woman, you need to keep working on yourself. Marriage is work in progress. Marriage is hard work. It's sacrifice. It's work in progress. So you should not neglect those things you were doing in courtship or dating that had the man or caught the man's attention. You should not neglect those things. Keep the fire burning Keep
the fire
investing in
burning.
yourself. Keep working on
Amen.
yourself.
Wow.
Keep the fire
Keep the
burning.
fire burning.
Don't let your fire go down.
Go down.
Yes.
For any
For
reason.
any reason.
That you're a Christian does not mean
You should
Your
not
marriage should be
let
boring.
a
Yeah.
marriage fire go
I think
down.
mommy said a few things. She said something about the dress code. She said something about being conscious of yourself.
Being conscious.
You said something about the air.
Being
You
intentional.
said something about
In your looks.
the
Be
looks,
intentional
yes.
in your looks.
And
You have to keep yourself more beautiful. That you're a Christian woman does not mean you should abandon yourself. It doesn't mean you should abandon yourself.
wow.
You keep working on yourself, working on your shape, your size. I know
That's quite important too, because there's a case of childbearing.
Of course,
basically.
I know. Of course, I
And
know.
the
That
woman is
childbirth
actually. I think
impacts so much,
yes,
so much
during my marriage
size.
counseling, they told me that if this is what you love about her, you will be shocked that after she drops 1 or 2 for you, she's bound to actually change.
Begin to
the shape.
increase in size.
Yeah,
That's reality. Childbirth and breastfeeding has a lot to do on a woman's body.
Okay.
But I'm not saying you should neglect your body.
Wow.
There's a whole lot to do to keep in shape. Work on yourself. Work on yourself, yeah. If no matter the size increase in size after childbirth, you can always work on yourself. There are a whole lot of things to do. There are dieting. There's exercise to bring in or introduce to make you still keep in shape. You must not jump because now I'm not breastfeeding. I just have to leave myself, eat 10 times a day, eat at odd hours, and begin to increase in size. You need to watch it. You need to work on yourself as a woman. You must not abandon yourself in the name of marriage.
What you said earlier, the fact that the woman has to keep working on herself
On your size, of course.
on a daily basis,
On a
working
daily
on shape,
basis, of
working
course.
on
You have to be
size.
intentional.
You have to be intentional about
Conscious
what
about your look.
your looks and all that. I think that this question I'm actually going to ask is going to come from Elder Mike, and the question is basically relational to how what does I'm talking about within the confines of marriage now. There's something you're interested in before you got married. Now you're married. What can a woman do to keep you interested? What are these few things you can actually see, generally speaking, can keep a man still interested in a woman for a very long time?
Thank you very much. When Mama was speaking, she was particularly focusing on dressing, outlook, but I remember the first time Mama spoke, she also said something that men react, are moved
by what they see.
You see, thank you very much. You see, you most often hear a Christian woman, and you ask a Christian woman, why are you not dressing like this? Or why are you not behaving like this? Just a marriage that is barely 5 years. And they say, at this stage, a woman that is just under 30 or under 35, say, at this stage, who am I doing it for? Who is looking at me? Forgetting that men, just by the word of our mama, I say men
we are
moved. We are moved by what we see. Now, that brings me to the key word, romance. That's romance, right? And romance does not have a specific timing to say it's only during honeymoon and after childbearing it should die. The importance of romance is one key thing that you use to spice up your marriage. It is one key action. You can call it formula, you can call it action, or your own way of keeping the spark in the marriage. It is important to a 60-year-old marriage. It is important to a 40-year-old marriage. It is important to 10-year-old marriage, just as it is important to a 1-week marriage. Don't let your romance life die. It is biblical, it is scriptural. For the man, you go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. It tells you, he said, you the man, he said, live joyfully with your wife, with the wife of your youth. And I like one thing he says. He said, that is your only reward in this life of vanity, all your labor under the sun. When he said, live joyfully, he said, that is your only reward. Live joyfully means be excited. Be excited. Proverbs chapter 5, if you read from 15 to 20, he said, be ravished. Be ravished by the love of your wife. So he said, be ravished. He said, why would you be ravished by the bosom of another woman? So your woman should be ready, your wife should be ready anytime, any day, to put herself in the position to make the man move. There's nothing like, hey, who am I doing it for? 1 Corinthians chapter 7, if you read from 3 to 5, he said the woman does not have power over her body. I'm trying to go around romance, what it can do, the magic it can do. Wow. He said the man has no power over his body, but it belongs to the woman. And the woman has no power over her body, it belongs to the man. He said, defraud ye not one another. He was not speaking about first year in marriage. He was not speaking about 10 year in marriage. As long as you both live together, please keep your fire burning. Keep your romance life burning. Don't let it go down. Because the minute you as a woman begins to feel you are too old, like our mother has said, that men are moved by what they see. And if you stop giving it or showing, displaying, whatever you know can move your man, do it. So long as it's not ungodly. That you are a Christian, if we say don't wear bomb shot out, yes, that is wrong. But inside your closet, please, you are licensed. Wear the bomb shot if that is what he wants to see. If it is wearing red nightgown, that is what he wants to see. That is what moves him.
Do it.
Please do it. If you have pet names, name that you call him, the same thing goes for the man. The name you call him, and it makes him move. No? Call him.
Do it for him.
Do it for him. The presence of children
should not
adds to the blessing. Should not stop you. He said, God's gifts make it rich. It has no sorrow. That children have come does not mean you should close your romance life. That children are in school is not enough reason for both of you to hold back, to start defrauding one another. No. He said, create time. Always create time for yourselves. Always create time for yourself to interact, to communicate, and it is from that interaction, communication, that you enter into deep romance. And it is that deep romance that is the fire. Anything can happen. Wow. Anything can happen from there. You open up to one another. Secrets are open. It is through that process that forgiveness, even if I was angry with you in the morning, it is at that point that you see that the anger goes down. And we reaccept ourselves once again.
Wow. These are really, really serious statements, Daddy. And I think if you are watching us, one of the things you should be doing is carrying a biro and paper and trying to see things you can write down to actually increase the sparks in your marriage. Because for me, like I always use my marriage because this thing they catch me and they never too last. We are still like, Daddy, I'm almost 8 months now. The thing is catching me.
You are just beginning.
Yeah, the thing is catching me. So anytime we are talking about this thing, I must bring my marriage in front. See. My friends.
There's a lot to gain. It's the best gift.
Yes, my friends actually saying any small thing, your wife. I say you don't see him now. That's the only thing I have for now. Leave me alone. So basically, there are some things I've actually picked out.
I think in addition to what Daddy was just saying just now, the point he talked on, is all about building intimacy. It's all about bonding. Whatever it is you know that will make both of you come together, do it. Build bonding. And the one thing I've noticed is If you are distracted by children, by activities in your home, there will be a phase in that marriage that the children will be all gone. They would have grown and they will be all in different parts. They would have moved on, is the word. There will be a stage in your marriage where your children will move on. And that's also reality.
Yes,
they
that
will
is
move
true.
on. And if you have not succeeded in building friendship with your spouse, then there will be problem. So as couples, you have to bear in mind that you started alone and you will also end
End up
alone.
alone.
So during the process of moving or progressing from one phase to the other, like Daddy said, you have to build friendship.
And cherish one another.
Cherish one another.
Continuously.
Continuously.
non-stopping.
Because when
Cherish
the chips
one
are
another.
down, the children will move on. And if you have not succeeded in building friendships, if there's no bond, then you will be lonely. You will be lonely. There will be loneliness within both of you. And that will be frustrating.
Very
Wow.
frustrating.
That can
Wow.
be frustrating.
So ma, I'm going to ask you to itemize
Okay.
certain things that
That
a
can
man should
bond,
do.
okay.
Just itemize them for me. Let's see how we can see how many things that certain things you feel
Well, it
can,
should not be
can
for
make
okay.
a result that
That can build intimacy.
this is I want results now. I want to apply 5 things.
Okay, 5
Uh,
things.
I
Okay.
want to apply 10 things. I want to apply 20 things. Just itemize a few of them that I can actually just start doing now, and I'm going to expect result as soon as
Okay.
possible.
I'll use one caption: spend time together.
Spend time
Spend
together.
time together, bait together, whatever it is that will keep you together. Spend baiting together,
Spend time together,
watching
bait
TV
together.
whatever program together.
It's okay, it's around
So you're
that.
watching a
Spend
program
time
together.
Yes.
Go walking or jogging together.
Okay.
Cook together.
Yes.
As a man, you should not be
Leaving
absent
the
from
woman,
the kitchen.
leave-
You
leave-
should not be in the parlor
Mommy, if
with
you're
your
talk-
legs
Mommy, if
crossed.
you're talking to me,
and-
talk
and
to me
I'm talking to you
directly.
because you should not be in the parlor and you are screaming. Is the food not ready? Is the food not ready? If I wait one more hour and the food is not served, I'll leave the house. No. If you walk right there into that kitchen and join her in preparing
I
that
actually
meal,
see why the thing is not actually ready, and
beautiful.
you can actually
So
prepare a
if you
solution.
spend time together and you are cooking together, helping her out, probably cutting vegetables, washing the dishes, you are together. That the bonding is even it can progress from cooking together till the 9th chapter. That should I spell it out? So if you're a man and you want to eat the other food in the night, you begin to work on it from the morning. You begin to work on the process of eating the food. It doesn't start in the night.
Okay,
Men know, I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. If you're watching me right now,
So-
you know what
so
I'm talking about. You
spend
start
time
from the morning.
together.
Spend
That's
time
one.
together.
Then
Work together, cook together, jog together, go on a date.
go on dates.
Go on a date.
Okay. I
du-
think
during
we
courtship,
the Christian marriage
it's
do not
boring because I'm sure they have
see the need
of going on a
going
date.
on dates together, because naturally we okay, for example now,
they think it's a dating thing or a
yes,
courtship thing.
during courtship, we were advised to, if you want to see each other, go to a public space where
Eyes
can actually see you. And most
watch.
times you get used to it, and you notice that those intimate time you're supposed to spend together with your wife, you're already used to the fact that we always in places where
public
you
glare.
understand? So I think most marriages, most Christian marriages, most people who are religious in nature would actually want to, not have dates because they don't see it as very important. So I think it's something that we need to reiterate to the marriage.
Of course, it's
Dress up as a man.
Very important.
Dress up as a man, dress
should
up
be-
as a lady,
Go
have
out.
the time, go
Go out together.
away from
Leave
the children.
Leave
Yes.
the children at home. Go out. It will foster bonding. It will foster intimacy in that marriage.
Wow.
That you are a Christian does not mean you should not enjoy your marriage. In fact, it is unscriptural
For you not to enjoy
for
your
you not to
marriage
enjoy your marriage, because marriage is to be enjoyed
and not endured.
and not to be endured.
Wow.
Marriage is
A gift.
one of the best gifts
From God to man.
from God to man. So you have no reason because I'm a Christian
To make it
to make it boring. That is not principle from God. And let's stop misinterpreting the scripture. We must stop misunderstanding the scripture to suit ourselves.
Wow.
No.
These are very, very important topics.
Now, taking time off to relax, like Mama has said, is very important.
Yes.
No matter how busy your schedule is, no matter how religious you are, whether you are a bishop or a pope or whatsoever, please create time to relax. It is from relaxing, that mood of relaxing, that you unburden so many things. Relax. It can be within the house or outside. Your head on his thigh, on her thigh. Her head on your thigh or your chest. Hold yourself. There's nothing unholy
about it.
So long as it is both of you. So long as the bed is not defiled. He said they were both naked and they were not ashamed. So at the moment of relaxing, that relaxation mood gives rise to deep interaction.
Wow. These are very
deep interaction. And what do? You see yourself looking at yourself eyeball to eyeball. And when you are looking at your spouse, they say the eye is the window to the soul of your spouse. And you cannot, the only time you will have the opportunity to gaze into her eyes on a relaxing mood, when you are together. When you are together, and at that point, she feels secured in your arms. She feels safe. She feels appreciated. The same thing goes to the man.
The good thing about
so
this
spend time, relax together, interact, discuss. And at that point also, something happens. The point of relaxing, interacting. Now, let me take you to something. He says in Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18, that was God speaking. He said, come, let us reason together. I want to tell you the importance of relaxing together, communicating together, interacting together. He said, let us reason together. He said, though your sins might be as scarlet, he said, they will be as white as snow again. I'm taking you somewhere. He said, though they may be red as crimson, he said, they will be like wool again. What does that tell you? It is the process of reasoning together, process of relaxing, that healing comes.
Takes place.
That is when forgiveness comes. That is when anger goes down. And that is when love can be created and recreated and recreated again.
I think this spice is actually a very good spice to rekindle marriage all over again. It's what makes marriage evergreen. The fact that you can actually come to a place where you now come together and relax and actually talk about things. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. If you are already, this is 10:46. We have our time fast spent. I promise we'll take your questions, and I'm trying to see as much as I can to keep those promises. But this 1 hour is something else. There's a lot to say and a short time to say it. But I'm going to see how much questions we can take. I know Pastor Maryann and Elder Mike could help me to see how we can answer the questions swiftly and how we can actually answer a lot of them. So, but before we do that, I'm going to acknowledge those of us who are not following us on Facebook, like as customary for us to do. Precious Obovuru said, marriage is a beautiful thing. Thanks for educating us more. Daddy, you're actually making people want to get married. People are actually, and the good thing is, it's coming from an elder, and the person, someone who is 26 years in marriage, and the person is telling you that the marriage is sweet,
and it's sweet,
and he's telling you things that romance, words like romance, coming from somebody who is actually deep into marriage, he's telling you that is 5 years into marriage, and you have lost romance. We have to check you.
Go and work on it.
We have to check you.
Go and work
then,
on it.
Chris Owen says, congratulations, you are making me want to get married.
Wow.
But for now, I'm just going to be listening to my blessed program.
Thing.
Tina Bliss says, very interesting and educating. God bless you all. God bless you too, Tina. Thank you so much for joining us. We have others. I can't take all of them because I need to take on the questions they've dropped on our email. If you've not dropped your question, you can still go on our email and drop us. The email is on your screen. We'll collate the questions, take the most important ones, take the most vital ones, and find a way to reach out to all the questions of our next program. This program, from the day, I don't know how you guys dropped your questions even without us dropping the topic. And all the questions actually related to the topic. And one of the questions I got, Daddy, is that why is it that before marriage, there's this heightened sexual urge? Everybody wants to romp. You want to look for somebody. Our teacher, our health teacher, said is a cautious, tortoise. And but during the marriage, there seem to not be this urge to do anything. There's no vibe. I'm not feeling the whole thing. And you see, the doctors will say they are begging married people to have sex, while they are begging single people to stay away from sex. So what could be the cause of that, and the remedy too? That very briefly.
Yeah, there is no reason after getting married,
For the sex life.
what you have been licensed to do, you refuse to use the license. That is a sin. That is ungodly. That is unscriptural. Because there is a scriptural backup for the importance of sex in the marriage. Sex is, I think, if I might call it, the highest spice or the most important spice that you can use to keep your marriage. If marriage without sex, then why did you bother to get married at all? They say sex is the first number one food. You say as food is important, the food you eat, as it is important to your flesh. That is how important sex is to the marriage. So where there is no sex in the marriage, it can create so many things. It can create disaffection. It can create lust outside. When a man is hungry, he begins to sniff around, looking for food outside. But once he gets that food, when you are well fed, nothing makes you to look outside for the same food that you have already. Yes. So then again, like I said, it is scripturally backed. The Corinthians tells us that. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. You can read from verse 2, maybe to 8 of it.
Wow.
It makes it clear that sex is very important. The woman should not hold back. The man should not hold back. So the drive must always be there.
So with this fact now we understand that one of the main spices of marriage is sex. We are talking about spices now, and they said the best ingredient, like, is better than salt and Maggi, is sex. So, mommy, I'm going to show the question to you. Why do you think it's not happening enough in the marriage?
Well, I think from what Daddy said, Daddy used one word: reality sets in. Reality for the woman let's use the word responsibility. She becomes burdened with responsibility. During dating, there was nothing like children, taking care of children, nothing like household chores, nothing like combining household chores with work and all that. So I think for the women, we are more burdened with responsibility. More responsibility that tends to take the time and energy for sex life. But the remedy should be balancing your time. Balancing your time. The women, I'm speaking from as personal perception, because at times the day might be very busy. You tend to have a whole lot going for that day. You have so much activities going on from morning till evening, and sex almost become the last thing on your mind. But the remedy should be balancing your time. Know that this is important. When you know sex is important in marriage to build intimacy and bonding, you have to walk around it. Know how to balance your time for the woman. Do not neglect what is important because of responsibility. And we know the house chores will certainly not, it will not end. Marriage chores at home would not end. So you don't use that as a yardstick to starve your during courtship. During courtship, the woman was I didn't use the word packaged. There were character traits she just tucked in and wasn't letting them out. But during marriage, she wants to nag. A nagging woman will kill the sexual appetite in a man. Character like nagging, character like comparing the man. When you compare your spouse or compare your husband to another man, you kill the appetite of sex completely. So be a friend or befriend each other. Befriend each other. Do things that will enhance your sexual life. Like your dressing also. Take care of your hair. Take care of your dress. There are dresses that should enhance sexual drive in a man. You are not tying wrapper and you want the man to be attracted to
dresses
you.
that are inviting.
So those things, there are character traits that kill that sexual drive in a man. Women
you said that said something about earlier that women, you said something about men are moved by what they see. So I think one of the key problem you highlighted today that I actually take is appearance. If you want him to
keep loving you
to keep doing it more with you, you should work on yourself.
That is cleanliness. I want to use the word cleanliness now. Even the Bible says cleanliness is next to godliness. So be a clean woman. Body that is in your body and in the environment. In your house, keep the place clean. Keep your room clean. Pampers cannot be on the bed. Used pampers cannot be on the bed. Bed sheets cannot be there for 1 month, and you want the man to be sexually aroused. No, it won't work.
I wanted to add
to it.
To something, because one of the questions he asks is why, when you were saying, you said it goes down, and you try to say that sometimes work burden, maybe the days, house chores, pressures from work. Now, everything goes by proper planning
and balancing.
And balancing of life.
I think she said that.
When you come back with understanding, you know that yes, either the woman might be too tired because of the work, even the man. The man may have worked himself and the woman desires it at that time. He too might not be prepared for that. But proper sex planning, when you rest, you can start it in the night where you may have taken enough sleep or wake up. But the important thing is,
don't let it die completely.
Don't let it die completely. Who said it must only be done at the end of the day's work when both of you are tired?
It could be in the morning.
Great time. It could be midnight. It could be in the morning. If that is when the mind, both minds are relaxed to accept each other.
Balance.
Then there's another thing to it again. Why it goes down. What kills sex life in marriages. In marriage classes, sometimes you ask people, why do you want to get married? And he tells you or she tells you, so that I can have children. I will say, okay, list, itemize in order of importance why you want to get married. And most of them tells you so that I can have children. So that means for people like that, once the children have come and gone,
then we are done.
They are done. The marriage can even die. The marriage can go. What is sex? What is sex again? What do I need it for? Especially you hear that in Christian homes. You hear that in Christian homes. I've had children. What do I, or maybe you want to bring the excuse that because I'm fasting, I want to give in to fasting. Yes, the scripture says when both of you agree to eat, when you are in fasting and praying.
Yes. For a period of time.
What if the other party
does not agree?
It's not fasting. It's not prepared.
You will come down from mountain. You will come down from mountain and attend to her.
That when at that point, that is when the devil sets into your marriage. When you begin to hold back, because that same scripture, the beginning part, tells you that none should defraud one another. So at that point, you begin to use fasting as an excuse. Then you are in for trouble. So please, always try to understand one another. Don't use, when you misunderstand the scripture, you begin to use the scripture as an excuse to create problem in your marriage. There is no reason, whether young, old, that you should deny one another of sex in your marriage.
Wow. Wow, this is deep. And I think we've settled this person's question to say, why do we have it too much outside the marriage? And why don't we have it in the marriage? Responsibility, a lot of things change despite the pressure
from
work and all that. And then mommy gave us a way to correct it. She said, and daddy gave us a way to correct it. He said, balance. He said, balance. You said, what I'm trying to do is atomize it so it can actually sink into the viewers.
Balance
time. You now said about dress code. Prepare for it, have a time.
Preparation for sex, cleanliness.
Yes, cleanliness and all that. Now, another question I got from our email that I think I should be very sure. One of the questions I got in the email is, why is it that sex is for the woman, once the man start getting older, they lose these abilities very well, but for them, they are the ones that cheat. Let me explain. The man's sex drive reduces more than the woman's sex drive, according to this person. Say, but then why is it that you have 50 years old people, 60 years old people cheating?
As 50 years old man now.
50 years old man, yes. 60 years old man, yes, still going out to look for younger women.
No, your question, maybe you refer down because you are saying the man's sex drive goes down.
Yes, that's what the person said. Exactly words.
Is this goes down in the house or that in the marriage?
Let me explain.
Not that his sex drive.
Let me explain.
The interest goes down in the home.
In the home for the wife.
Very active outside.
The person is saying he's not
question.
even active at home.
But very active outside.
But he's going out. They don't know if he's active outside.
Well, I'm sure probably the woman is feeling old. Age in a marriage is just a number. Age in marriage is just a number.
I think that's where companionship, because one of the things that came into my mind was what they are going to look for outside. If the man's sex drive is already down, is actually looking for companionship.
The sex drive cannot be down when
it's
the man
not
is going
down.
out.
I tell you, the man's sex drive didn't go down, but rather he is going outside to seek what he didn't get inside
from the house.
Yes.
So when he's satisfied outside, when he comes in, it seems like the drive.
Yes. So something is wrong inside.
Okay.
So it's either he is not
being.
He's not getting his desires inside.
I don't want to call the person's name because I think it seems like a personal question. So I think basically please give us that answer again so the person understands.
The sex drive is not down.
The sex drive, like I said, did not go down. Men's sex drive hardly goes down because our father Abraham at 100 still had enough sex drive with our mother Sarah.
To produce Isaac.
Yes, to produce Isaac. A man's sex drive does not go down. But for you now to say he goes out, that means his sex drive didn't go down.
Active.
So going out, something is wrong inside.
He satisfies himself outside.
He satisfied himself outside.
Either he was not getting
he's not getting it inside, or something is wrong with him.
He's not getting enough.
The person asking the question now, from the person's sentence, she wants it.
Okay, the wife wants it.
But now the man is not satisfying the sexual urge in the house.
Okay.
But there are cases now.
No, that outright is adultery. That's the case of adultery. Right? The marriage bed should not be defiled because of age. The marriage bed should not be defiled, whether at 70, 80. He said there was the passion. No, there's no reason to go outside. Even if the wife is still not giving it to him. It's not enough. Rather, that's why understanding, reasoning together, better communication. That is where it comes in. So that the woman knows that she has a responsibility to keep satisfying the husband as long as they both live.
Wow.
So they should
going outside is a different thing entirely. So the man needs to work on his spiritual life.
Going outside to get a younger age.
Yes.
So that is his reason.
I think now a direct response to you, Ma, would be that you should begin to go to your knees in prayers and ask God to actually help your husband get back to you, because obviously, according to what Daddy is saying, the sexual urge did not die.
And in
It's
addition
actually
to prayer,
being
you should
satisfied.
also work on it.
Work on yourself
Work
too.
on yourself.
Find out why he
Find
doesn't.
out
He's
why
not interested in you,
Fine.
but probably interested with somebody outside.
somebody
Now
else.
that doesn't justify that he should go outside. We are saying adultery
There's
is an
no- there's no
outright
reason
sin.
There's no
adultery.
justification
There's
for
no
that.
justification,
for
but
adultery.
basically you now need to find out
Work on yourself.
what is
Work on
happening.
yourself.
What
And
is
our
happening.
mama has itemized so many
Work on
ways
That you can
yourself.
actually
It
work on
doesn't
yourself.
go by
Interesting,
age.
of
How you
course, it
can
doesn't
work
go
on
by
yourself.
age. So look out, and also men, whatever it is that is attracting you outside,
Why didn't you bring it
Bring
inside
it
the
into your
house?
wife.
Bring it into
Invest
the
it
home.
into your
Invest,
wife.
that is the word.
Invest
So
it into
men,
your wife.
invest in your wife. Whatever it is that catches your attention outside, bring it in. Bring
So
it into your
one of the
home.
questions we got, I'm believing should be a topic for next time, because
Okay.
it's a very elaborate topic and it's only past 11.
Okay.
The person is said something about marriage, money.
Oh,
The
that's
person,
finance
I
and
can't
money.
remember the
Finance
exact
and
question,
marriage.
but it's actually related to finance.
It can be a next
I was trying
topic.
to open it, but I could not. So the person actually said something about finance. So I'm saying we should actually have it as a topic, so we can actually be able
course.
to not confuse the
Well,
person
and
more
that
than
is, I'm sure that's the topic for next week.
That's the
Balancing career and marriage.
balancing career. Okay, so
in
money comes
career,
into
money
play.
comes in.
So join us next week. Join us next week,
Keep
and
it a
as
date.
we are going to actually talk about your question,
And deal
where you spoke about
decisively on money and
where you
marriage.
spoke about money and marriage. So we will actually analyze these issues very well to the fullest. You can actually know where to come in, how to actually sort the problems going in your marriage. And if for you still have a problem in your marriage about a particular thing or not, you can drop the questions. We'll actually bring somebody suitable enough. I hope you enjoyed it and Mike today. Daddy, thank you so much for joining us. It was actually a very good moment to be with you here in the studio.
My pleasure.
Can you give us a closing remark, spicing up your marriage? Just give us in next 2 minutes or less.
Okay, my remark is this. Marriage is sweet. It is the best gift God has given to mankind. And once that gift is given to you, do all you can to
make it
enjoy
work.
your marriage. Do all you can to make it work. You must plan it and you must work together to make that plan work. It makes you live longer. It helps you. It heals a lot of wound. Every good marriage heals a lot of wound.
Wow.
It helps to reduce high blood pressure.
Spice up your marriage.
so many
Good
ways.
marriage heals a lot of wounds. And there's one thing: you can live longer if your marriage is actually very okay.
Peace of mind.
So let's see how we can actually spice up the marriage, work on atomize everything that was spoken about today. The Mike said a lot, Pastor Maryann said a lot. Pick out these things and don't just listen. Pick out this thing and start working on them.
Implement it.
Go out, buy a very good revealing gown and wait for your husband today and see what that can do to your marriage. For the man that is sitting inside the room listening to us and your wife is in the kitchen cooking, just stand up right now and just go to the kitchen and tell her one or two. Surprise her with a gift. Say something sweet about your marriage. Make sure you're actually open. During when we talk about finance, we're actually going to talk about gifting and a lot of other stuff. And career and marriage. Thank you so much for joining us today. I still remain Charisma Visuals, favorite media apostle. I love you so much from my heart. I'm seeing you, Daniel, and came. You just dropped a comment and you said very interesting and educating. I know that this will help a lot of people in their marital lives, because a lot of people have divorce in their marriage, and it's because they don't know anything in marriage. If you don't know anything in marriage, that's why we brought this program for you. That's why we drag Pastor Maryann every Wednesday to the studio to actually help your marriage. Thank you so much. I love you.